well, hey, that sounds very interesting. I also feel I can sort of remember spatial things pretty well. And so using those kinds of very, very broad things as hypotheses, okay? Is this something real that's an observable effect in people with dyslexia? I took a big breath and started delving back into the literature, okay? Fortunately, in the 20 years I was hiding out and making videos, people invented text-to-speech. They invented digital online repositories of text. I didn't have to go to libraries anymore. And so I was actually able to kind of read things that I wasn't able to read for a long, long time. And because I picked this topic, it made it easy for me to look through the literature. I just ignored anything anybody said about reading, because this has nothing to do with reading. And I just looked for any kind of literature about other stuff. Is there anything people know about dyslexia other than they can't read? And so that's how I began my investigations. And this was about 8 years ago. And one of the papers that really impacted me tremendously, I don't know if that's the correct use of the word impact, but one of the things that was important to me was a study by Katja van Karoli, who at the time was a PhD graduate student of Ellen Winter in Boston. And they threw all kinds of tests at people with dyslexia that were nonverbal types of things, just visual stuff. And they found that nothing stuck. They just didn't seem to have any kind of advantage for anything that they tried, except this one task. Okay, and this is called the impossible figures task. And they found that people with dyslexia seemed to have an advantage. I forgot whether it was a speed advantage or an accuracy advantage. I think it was a speed advantage in terms of recognizing objects that are of this sort. These are things that cannot be built physically, look okay, but can't be built because there's some kind of misdrawing in it. Okay, they're called impossible figures, and they're very popular some years ago in the psych circles. And this really intrigued me because, this is a picture by Mark Escher. You've all seen these kinds of things. Basically, if you look at these pictures, you see that he uses these impossible figures to break causality, to break the laws of physics. He has people going upside down and somebody's right side up over there. To me, that was science, okay? So it's a type of visual logic. And what this told me is that if Katja's research is correct, this is perhaps something that people with dyslexia can tap into to become strong scientists. And so this really intrigued me a great deal. Another thing that intrigued me at the time was some early work by Gadi Geiger and Jerome Letvin at MIT in 1987, which was quite ignored by the field, that showed that people with dyslexia can recognize letters placed far into the periphery